Good day to all our audience and participants in this Zoom meeting. Today we were featuring two unique speakers to share with us about the latest development in Malaysia on the social work community. And I am your host today from my SDG Academy. And the first speaker we are having is Dr. Teoh. Dr. Teoh is the president of Malaysia Association Social Work, and he's also playing a important leadership role in the regional arena. Without further ado, I would like to hand over the floor to Dr. Teo.
Educators we are in the academic, so social workers are trained, through academic discipline, at the universities, to qualify, so a lot of countries, they already have laws, that recognize, the qualification, the tertiary academic qualification as the entry into the profession. So what social workers are doing is that we facilitate, social change, change for the better, social cohesion. Just now, that's why for the World Social Work Day, we talk about unity, social cohesion and the empowerment of people. So we give voices to people, who to state their rights. So we learn about theories, we learn about other indigenous knowledge. So this is where what social workers are doing. So later I'll show you more details. So this is the global definition, and in 1928, the social workers from across the globe already gathered in Paris. The first international conference of social work. So in 2 years' time, the international social workers, Federation of Social Workers, are going to celebrate a centenary, of that conference. So with the international conference on social work in Paris in 1928, so they formalized, three international organization which I mentioned just now. International Federation of Social Workers, International Association of School of Social Work, and International Council of Social Welfare. So in Malaysia, MASW is member of IFSW. Universities are member of IASSW, and MAPEM, is a member of ICSW. So since this is a platform on SDGs, so I'll take this opportunity to link social work SDGs. So basically we are in the forefront. Social workers are in the forefront. Because we look at the 17 agenda later, we can see that social workers work in various fields. And it's just that we don't put the KPI as this is to achieve this SDG 1 or SDG 2, but this is part. So for researcher, for policy planners, so they need to take into consideration what this service is about, and what are the goals that we can achieve. So we are, it's frequently, our roles in SDG is always frequently overlooked, because you may look at them as working with homeless people, working with indigenous people, working with human trafficking, working with what we call the child protection, because of child abuse cases. You look into violence against women, or gender violence, So you when you look at all those issues, you didn't link with SDGs, but if you look in totality, you work towards, rebuilding, a person, rebuilding the family, and rebuilding the community, to strengthen the community. So this is where we the lacking of that. So if you look at that, social workers, when we talk about poverty, so social workers deal with a lot of poor families. Whether they are where they are the hardcore poor, or what they call the relative poor. So we are there. Zero hunger is related to poverty. Good health, we have social workers working in the hospitals. We have social workers working, with the HIV and AIDS community. They are not recorded as part of, moving towards or achieving the goals of SDGs. And so education for us is important, yeah, as you see. Gender equality, that is always a challenge, yeah, for us in the social profession when we deal with gender violence. Okay. And like clean water, yeah, when you work with community which are marginalized, yeah, which are outside of development. So this is something that we look at, yeah, the issues, yeah. So we have seen, yeah, we can see a lot of times the civil society works in that, and they may or may not have social workers, okay, but we welcome, yeah, those in doing the community work, yeah, to acquire skills in social work, yeah. Okay, so there are many others, yeah, which even for SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. In Singapore, yeah, social workers are situated are based in family centers within the communities. Okay, the what they call their what they call their public flats. Okay, social workers are servicing to the people, yeah. So that is very important in sustain, to make the city livable, okay, and not discriminate or marginalize any person, yeah, in that, yeah. So social workers do, yeah. Okay, and there are some social workers when we talk about climate action, yeah, of course there are not many, okay, but when you look into the community. So some of these communities are facing, yeah, this the what they call the uh, the climate change, yeah, that causes, the community faces, yeah. So these are the things that we may want to look into, yeah. Okay, but we may not be the main profession in that, yeah. So to conclude, yeah, my sharing, yeah, I put everything together, yeah. Okay, to to inform, yeah, this is a part of my slides, yeah, our slides is a grand overview of what social workers do, yeah, and what social workers is and what social workers do, yeah. So that's where we want to have the social work profession bill, or the social work profession act, so that we can regulate, yeah, the social profession. Okay, at the moment, like I said just now, we have a diploma in social work, yeah. Okay, where MCKL, Methodist Pile Institute, they are offering, yeah, and also Uni Raza. We have degree in social work where a lot of IPTs, yeah, at the moment, IPTA, yeah, offering degrees. We have two master in social work by coursework, yeah. One is UUM, another one is USM, yeah. And then we have PhDs, yeah. Because why we have different levels of education? Because you can look at, like doctors, okay, they qualify as a generalist, then they do their specialization, become a specialist. So in for every profession, they are going through that path. So we are building that path for social workers as well. Yeah. So for instance, in the US, they have a category called clinical social workers that deal with mental health. Okay, mental health clients. Yeah. So they have to be trained to be a clinical or a therapist, and this has to be done. Okay, you can only acquire that specialization at the postgraduate level. Okay, and then you only then you can be licensed, yeah, to practice, yeah. Okay, so we have three levels. This I say micro, meso, and macro. Yeah, okay, from the individual and family, then you go to a group and organize a community, then you go into the policy level. And these are the areas where social workers are. You can find social workers in, yeah, working with children, women, family, working on in child protection, yeah, working elderly. Yeah, this is something that is coming up, yeah, and we hope we will get more people, more social workers coming into working with elderly and people with disability. At the moment, still not many social workers that devote, okay, but many of my graduates, yeah, my students are now going into, because there are more centers for autistic children, so they are moving into that, okay, to support, the children and also family, yeah. So juvenile delinquents, yeah, this is where we will talk about rehabilitation. You will talk about restorative justice, yeah. So health and mental health, community development, disaster management, yeah. Okay, substance abuse, yeah. That is, we have social workers working with AADK, yeah, policy and research. So in all, okay, social workers' functions varies according to the to the clientele, yeah, people that they are serving, and also their organizations. Okay, so some social workers are, are in the prevention work. Yeah, some are doing more supportive, some are doing very direct intervention. Yeah, and some are doing protection. Yeah, because protection of children, protection of women, and there are some form of control where when you look into the what they call probation, yeah, probation services, yeah. You look into those who have restorative justice, yeah, where people who have gone through, yeah, they have committed crime or committed any offences, and then we want to give them, you need to give them a second chance, and then how to reintegrate them back to the society after that. So these are the control element in social work, yeah. So in a nutshell, I present to you, yeah, what social worker is, and then what MASW is doing. Yeah. So thank you so much, yeah, for giving me this opportunity. Later we can discuss more, yeah, more freely. Thank you.
Wow, that is super, super impressive, Dr. Teoh. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. And thank you very much for sharing. And also welcome our friends to this webinar. I think the webinar that we are hosting, it will be a series of webinar. Let me introduce what we are doing here. So MySDG Academy is actually looking into build an ecosystem for the third sector. Third sector including all the CSO, NGO, NPO, that not social enterprise who really have the heart to do actually help the community, but at the same time and also in the social economy, which means that we want to help the community but in a sustainable way, including financial sustainability, including our mental health sustainability. And for me, that Dr. Teoh sharing is really bring me to another level of thinking. Social work can be very professional. We can equip ourselves to be very skillful and very strategized community, not only very passionate, very experienced on the ground. We are very connected to the community, but not just by experience, not just we have the passion for the community, but beyond that, we also have the skill, we have the tools, we have the support group growing together. This is what we aim to do. And every last Friday of the month, we will have this about 75 minutes gathering, because we also look into the prayer time, to be mindful of the prayer time. So to come together as a community to see how to grow together. All right. Then I also want to acknowledge our supporting partner. We have the a few supporting partner, as you can see the logos that then they will rotate, and to share more about the work has been done. All right. So we have quite a bit of time. The best things of joining online is really to first to let the community to know you. So strongly encourage you to use the chat box to introduce yourself and introduce a bit of your work, and for a few times later we'll definitely know you. Then secondly is to have a Q&A sessions. Dr. Teoh is very merciful. He gives us enough time for the Q&A, so we actually have an extra time for Q&A, not rushing here and there. All right. Third, we will prepare for a group photos soon. So for friends who have already join in, may I invite you to prepare yourselves for a group photo. Let's on your camera if above, then we can see you. Hi, Devin. Cool. Thanks. I see you. Hi. All right. Who else that you can see the friends? So Chris Pent. Hello. Hey D. Guna Silant. We have very muhibat community here. Zarin. Hello. Dr. Kyril. Nur Ai. Calvin
Yeah,
Killing, Amber, Killing, and many more. Oh, Michelle from MySDG Foundation, and our friends here. I say that in this platform we have several different stakeholders. We have quite a number from the back end. I see we have quite a number from the university. We have some from the government agency. We have some as a social worker in the community. And I'm looking to invite more private sector who care about the social work in Malaysia as well, so that we can build the four helix innovation model. All right. Okay, so without further ado, let me take a group photo to stick together. Then the next sessions that I will invite Mr. Chiu to give us very unique perspective. All right. Sapara, who may help me to take the photo as well. So be ready, Madam Amber. I see half of you. If you want to sit a little bit up, also can. All right. So ready? One, two, three. Smile. All right. I'm going to page two. Give me the best smile of the day. Okay. I'm going to the page two. Okay. One, two, three. Last page. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks. That's it. Okay, then the next, I would like to introduce a very special speaker, Mr. Chiu. Okay, I know one of the challenge that social worker having on ground is really time. We are who agree with me that we are always lacking of time. We have so much to address, so many needs to address on ground. So we are always like fighting with time. But what impressed me is really who will who will devote that to go through the sessions and then to devote 3 years to go for the structural training. So despite of all the challenge. So let me give a short introduction about Han Hong, that our next speaker. So Mr. Cho Han Hong is a social worker working in people living in with HIV in Malaysia. So his practice is grounded in trauma-informed, culturally sensitive, and also strength-based approach to care. He provides case management, coordination, and psychosocial support for people living in HIV, assisting clients with treatment retention, mental health concern, substance use of issues, and also complex medical and social challenge. So having the these issues and the social challenge as well. So his work also include facilitating peer support group and supporting individual in navigating stigma and cultural barriers. Chiu is particularly interested in harm reduction and sustainable empowered based community program. He is committed to promote dignity in marginalized communities through integrated and person-centered social work. So let me welcome and spotlight our next speaker, Mr. Chill. Right, where is the spotlight? Okay, the spotlight is here. I will also spotlight myself as I am going to interview. This is an interview sessions. At the same time, it can be a fire check as well. All right, we still have time. They are going to end at 12:15. So we can actually utilize this time for a fight check, which means that if you have any intervention, you can actually put in the chat box and I will invite you perhaps to unmute yourself as well. All right. So, and Mr. Chiu, and call you Chiu lah, okay. Chiu, please share with us, how did studying diploma in social work shape the way your practice as a social worker, and also why structural social work education is important? Over to you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Zoel, for introducing me. Thank you, Dr. Teoh, as well for the presentation just now. So I think why I choose to proceed and complete my diploma in social work as part of my structured learning, it's very much related to what Dr. Teoh shared just now. When we work in social work field, I think throughout history, human beings have been very helpful to each other. We try to look out for one another, but a lot of time, like we don't really know how best to support the people in need. So, like Dr. Teoh shared in the comprehensive visual chart just now, I think it encompasses so many fields and aspects that sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. We do not know where to start. And I think just now Zoa also mentioned, like in my line of work, working with people living with HIV. So I also come across people from different backgrounds. So there are people who use substances. There are people from the person with disability communities. There are also children and youth as well. So I would say because of my structural learning, I get the exposure in various key concepts, whether it's in psychology, it's in sociology, in policy. So not only having those concepts that it's generally applicable when I work with clients, I also delve people. We have subjects to work with elderly people, with persons with disabilities, with diverse group of people. So all those things, it helps to equip me as a more competent social worker that is prepared to handle whatever case being thrown to me. So I think we have a very diverse background of people in the group. I think I saw someone works in children's home as well. So when we are on the ground, I think it's very common for us to encounter issues that it's beyond our niche, beyond our scope. So when those issues being presented to us, I think it's very crucial to have certain guidelines on how we want to do our assessment intervention. And thanks to my structured learning in Diploma in Social Work, I get to have the theories, I get to equip myself with the knowledge, and most importantly is also I know what are the values needed when I work with the clients, how to make sure that whatever things that I'm doing is ethical and also professional and sustainable for the client. Yeah, I hope that
All right.
clarifies.
Thank you, Teoh. Yeah. So from what I heard that when you are in the structured learning, you have the guidelines and also the standards of practice. I just wonder if you are our audience who are joining the Zoom today, if you are or you also went through the structured training, you may give me an emotion or put in the chat box because I'm curious, Teoh, this question to you. How long have you been in the social work? And yes, how long have you been in the social work?
Uh, before before I started the diploma in social work, I was involved in some NGO. So I think since 2017, I work with homeless community. And then I also work closely with youth development as well. But I don't consider myself working as a capacity of social worker back then. I would say even though I'm in NGO work, but I'm just supporting programs without really knowing like how to better empower the clients, like what kind of long-term impact they want to see for the community itself. So it's a bit like I'm in NGO work, but I'm quite clueless. I'm just doing whatever presented to me. It's reactive and not proactively like taking the strategic direction.
Okay, so you joined the diploma in 2023, isn't it?
2022. Yeah.
2022, which means that you joined the NGO industry in 2017, and 5 years, 6 years later, you officially take a structural training.
Yes.
All right. So what I heard a little bit about it that before you take the diploma, it's more a supporting role. And
Yeah.
after having the diploma and go through the structured training, now you are more into strategies. You
Yeah.
know what to do, isn't it? So
Yes.
what you actually learned and you see a significance different in your career development before and after?
All right. So in my role, I coordinate the support for people in HIV. So we do not only like provide psychosocial support, but we also handle case management as well. So instead of like just purely focusing on case management, I think we are also looking into like working with other NGOs, how to improve the ecosystem of care as well for marginalized community. If back then I would say I only focus on supporting the program. Let's say back then my program is to improve the livelihood of the people who are homeless. So I would say I lack the perspective to analyze or see the issues in larger lens. So I only, let's say when we work with clients, sometimes we might get frustrated, like why the clients do not follow through our interventions, like what we plan for them. We think that is what works for them. But after studying social work, through the course and also through the reflection as well, I start to also see the different factors that is in play. So let's say a client is not following through maybe there's internal barriers, there's also the barriers from the environment as well. I can see that like right now in my role, whenever something goes outside of my expectations or outside of the plan, then I wouldn't just put that responsibility on the client itself. I think there's a saying that says if a flower doesn't bloom, we don't blame the flower, but we see like what are the things that the flower lacks. I think it's very similar in social work field when the client doesn't improve. Instead of just blaming the client, like not taking initiative or not being proactive, we look into the support system of the client. We look into the community around the client. And from there, we try to do something to improve the well-being, not just for the client, but for the larger community.
Yeah. It's true. Then you have a more helicopter view of how to actually seeing a case. We have Irene sharing in the chat box as well. So Irene is saying that so often we overlook the interdisciplinary approach thinking and in the typical generalized we as versus the specialist approach. It is truly a different approach of addressing. As I always mention that our social workers people are really the most, I don't know, the blood is like all full with like go right, we dedicated our day and night for the social development, for the community development, and sometimes we ourselves burn out. I've been in the social works for 22 years as well, so it's like, okay, we need to strategize how we work. So chill, my next question is, what advice would you give to the current students, okay, we still unsure the value of studying social work? Now AI is coming in, business is coming in, why we want to study social works?
Yeah. Before I answer that, I also want to touch a bit on what Irene said. Like a lot of us are in the situation that we are trying to help the community, we are trying to help the clients, but to the extent that we might also find ourselves burning out or experience like compassion fatigue or feel affected by the systems or the helplessness. So I think my advice for the student as well is to really look into how to also practice self-care while also reaching out. I think one good thing that I gained from my study is I managed to get in touch with the social work network through my classmates, through my lecturers, through my supervisors. So I think when we are in the field itself, a lot of time we feel overwhelmed or we find ourselves quite clueless. So those are the people that we can actually reach out to either seek emotional support, or we need someone to also like help us to see our blind spots as well. So that thing, instead of like just starting it when we are officially in the field, I think it's good to start building it up when we are still studying. That is one. Another one that I really wanted to emphasize is I think like let's say in my previous study, I got 3 years to complete the diploma. And I think that gave me sufficient time to also explore the issues that is close to my heart. So I think for students, if let's say there are certain subjects that you'll find more resonated, then do really put in the effort to find out more what has been done, what was the gap, not only in our country, but also maybe in other countries as well. I think that will really give better perspectives on what we actually wanted to explore, especially during our practicum. And while working on the assignments, while working on the tutorials, if let's say we find something that is relevant to ourselves, then throughout that process of working on the assignments, sometimes like we might get quite stuck, or let's say we feel like the assignments is too much or stuff like that. But do persevere through, because essentially like how we deal with as simple as how we deal with our assignments to how we deal with our life challenges. So those will be the source of resilience. how we help ourselves, it's also how we can guide our clients or our communities to be better resilient, also to be stronger together. Yeah.
Well, now I know why you are selected as the best student in the cohort. Your mindset is
Thank you.
so strong, eh? Wow, how to actually leverage on the work. Eh? Let me invite back Dr. Teoh to the chat as well. Since we sometimes we actually will end this webinar to carry this webinar until 11:15, as it's really great that we don't rushing to end, and this gives us a space to communicate. So welcome if you have our audience or participants who are joining Zoom in live. You are most welcome to actually interact with us. If you want to do a fire check, which means that unmute and check, it is potentially do it as well. But before I bring in Dr. Teoh to discuss a little bit about the bill, because people heard about it, but it seems there has been a long discussion, right? Perhaps we can give some background about what is this bill about, whether we how is the progress. But I would like to also briefly introduce about what we are doing here. Today, the sessions is organized by MySDG Academy, but it won't happen without the support from our partner. So the partner, including Malaysia Association of Social Work, who are the president, and a team here who's supporting us as a co-organizer for this webinar. We also have the PPPSKM, Persatuan Pekerja Prihatin dan Pekerja Sosial Kristian Malaysia. Joining as a partner, we have DUMC Damansara Utama Methodist Church. We have his team and also Yayasan Kajian dan Pembangunan Masyarakat YKPM. At the same time, this group of people actually work together with MCKL to promote about structural training. But be very frankly, this structural training has been introduced for 10 years, as far as I know, and MySDG Academy joined in this force last year. So it is that I believe that 10 years ago, this program being developed for a reason. But the development of these 10 years is quite challenging. So maybe I invite pioneer of the program who have joined us since the beginning, Dr. Teoh, to give us a little bit of the background why the structured training are important and how is the progress now, what we can do for what.
Okay, thank you.
Over to you.
So, actually the diploma, the idea of this diploma is also in line with our work. When we, in 2010, we started to look into having a law to regulate the social profession. Yeah. So at that time, the government, the JKM, Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat Malaysia, and also the Ministry of Women, Family, Community Development, they set up a technical committee, which I'm also one of the member of the technical committee. Yeah, Mrs. Amy is in there, Prof. Azlinda is in there, Dr. Ling Hauki was in the first 3 years of that technical group, and also Miss Elsie Lee, former president of MSW, and also president. I took over from her in 2009. Okay, so 2010, government set up a technical committee looking into how do we enhance the social practice in Malaysia. Yeah, so one is to have the law, and secondly is that to look into what are the education gaps, that can, or what are what they call the skills gaps, that social workers face in Malaysia, and then what are the alternative, or what are the solutions in terms of education and training. So so we found out that diploma, at that time there's no diploma in social work. So if you want to go and study, you have to do a full-time study. So and at government public universities, as you know very well, at that time, in those years, only those who are school graduates, school leavers are going in after their STPM or their Asasi or whatever. Yeah, it's very hard for working adults to go to public universities because they don't offer part-time mode. Okay, so at that time, all the social programs are only offered full-time. Okay, in universities. Yeah, so then the government says, okay, can we start to look into having a diploma? Yeah, but because social work is People they don't understand about social work, and they don't see social work as a money making program. Yeah, because a lot of IPTs, even to have a program, okay, they have to look into the sustainability and profitability. Okay, you need to ensure, there are students coming in. Yeah, so at that time, yeah, Dr. Dennis Jayasuriya, yeah, who is the head of the secretariat for SDG, yeah. So she is very strong. He is very strong in wanted to start a diploma, and that able to offer both full-time and part-time mode, because he sees so many frontline workers, okay, whether it's called social work or called community work or whatever you call them, serving the community. Many of them don't have skills or don't have credentials. So and they would not be able to go to a university full time, quit their job and go to. So that's the idea mooted. Yeah. So he called me, okay, because I was the president then. Then we start having dialogues, and then started to get other partners to come in and see how can we support, a diploma, because you want to academic education program, you need to park that in the Institute of Higher Learning. We cannot offer. We don't have the standing. Yeah, we don't have the authority to offer that kind of education. So we have to find an institution that that feel the passion as well. So that's how Dr. Dennison approached MCKL. Okay, Miss Moy, who was the CEO then, and then after 2 years, no, actually 4 years of discussion and planning, okay, eventually, okay, that the Diploma in Social Work was launched in 2017. Okay, so the first batch of students are mainly from the NGO settings. Okay, and it was started with part-time. Okay, although although we can offer full-time, but because students coming in, they cannot quit their job, so we offer part-time. And the Diploma in Social Work at MCKL was also the first diploma in social work in Malaysia, and the first social work education that is fully taught in English. Okay, and then Miss Elsie was the head of program. Yeah, she is a retired medical social worker. So we said, okay, Elsie, you have to take the lead. She has a master's in social from USM. Yeah, so she went in, and then what we found out is that, okay, for diploma, it has to be very hands-on. So the educator needs to have experience as well. Okay, so you cannot just teach theory. You have to link theory to the practice and then demonstrate the students. Yeah, so we have to design. Yeah, I was also involved in the designing of the curriculum. Yeah, although I'm at the UC level, but it gives me a new perspective of how education. You have to tweak the education to fit the needs of that level. And the diploma is not that the diploma is less than degree. Okay, what is difference is that in terms of skills, okay, they are similar. The diploma and degrees, the skill set are similar. Okay, but in degrees, what we in the university will do is that we will emphasize on research as well. Okay, at the diploma level, we don't put that emphasis. Okay, we put emphasis on dealing, with micro and meso approach. A degree, you have to go into a macro as well. So they have to learn more about policy, learn about how to conduct research. Okay, so this is how we come together, and then eventually we run that program here. So it's not easy to get students. Okay, one is that because that's why we were hoping that we have that law. Once we have the law, okay, like any other profession, okay, if you look at counseling, a lot of people are taking up degree in counseling, or they come into a counseling profession by a master's program because they already have a law that regulates that. Okay, early childhood education. Okay, government already have a policy on recognizing the early childhood education certificate or a diploma. So that's why a lot of people going in, because they can use that qualification for their job, for their career advancement. Okay, so that's why we want to push for that bill. And thirdly, is that I think what just now An Hong talks about, self-care. I think what is important for a profession is that the professional support. Okay, you work, so we are a community. We are a big family. Yeah. So how do we, as a profession, support our members, support our colleagues? Okay, so when you have the law, then you have people registered. Then we know where they are, and then how we can reach out to them and then get the support. Okay, provide that support. Yeah, for our association, we are registered as a society, so we don't have the law to mandate people. So our members are voluntary. So whether you are members or not, no members, we can have no control about your practice. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what I can share. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Teoh, for the sharing of the journey. It's not easy. Teoh, I will invite you in a few minutes to give a final wrap up, final words. But for this webinar, final words for this webinar. Okay, so it's like it sounds like we are going to sell something. No, today we're not selling something. And in fact, actually, we are starting this series of webinar is to identify the needs of the community. From what you heard from Dr. Teoh, is the structured trainings are important to be there to make our work professional. I'm not sure how whether you encounter this kind of situations that a lot of time when we as social worker we go on ground to help those marginalized community, people feel that we are silly, we are gong gong and then do all this work for what? Right? It's like and sometimes when we are also like trying our best and we face some burnout, and also I don't know how we lost how to help the community. Right? And all the problems thrown to us. And I think by having a structured training is really like what Teoh have told us just now. It gives the practice, the standards, how to professionally protect yourself and the relationship with your clients, and also how to be in the ecosystem, the community that's supporting one another. That's the first thing. Second thing, again, to that, I would like to give a reminder, the highlights that under the 13 Malaysia Plan, which is implementing in 2026 until 2030, government have introduced this social economy. It's actually give a work for many of our NGO, our social work to be looking into the sustainability of our development. And we might be able to leverage on this mandate to work together for the policy reform, to enhancing our resilience and visibility, and also be into the procurement. What does it mean? Let's say example, if government want to do a service for old folks home, instead of they forming another agency and then to build the center, etc., why not they work with the social works, or the institute has been already working in that area and in that geography? There's a lot of potential, and MySDG Academy has started the journey since last year October, even before the Team Malaysia Plan has been implemented. If you check in earlier just now, you saw a videos. That videos is what has been going on. All right, so there's a lot of things, and I think that is a platform, opportunity for us as a social workers to equip ourselves to be professional and high value contributor for the country. So, Chu, would you like to say certain things before we end the webinar today?
Yeah, I think going back to the title of our webinar today, the future of social work in Malaysia, I think it has becoming like more and more complex. We are in a very resource limited setting. So let's say whether you are working with refugees, you are working with children, you are working with people with chronic illnesses. So it becomes harder to navigate through the systems. And I think that is why sometimes when we notice like there are certain skill sets or certain knowledge that we are lacking, when we see like some advertisement that pops up, or there's this course that maybe we might register and stuff like that, but there's no continuity. Like we don't really see like how can we equip ourselves to be a more well-balanced individuals in the field helping our communities. I would say it's good that we start this series so we can also slowly explore more how we can like make the social work profession or make the social work sector something more sustainable in the future as well. Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much. Irene is asking how many economy you want to have. Not only just the gifting economy and care economy, we have pet economy. Now people have a lot of like cats and dogs. But I think the economy that we are also AI economy, digital economy, is a need based and it address the different needs. All right, then so I have left my as we're approaching to the end in another 100 seconds. First, I have left my email in the chat box. Today, I would like to acknowledge Rajani from the MCK is here with us as well. So after listening the webinar, regardless you are joining on Zoom or join on through the YouTube later, if you are interested to explore more about the structural training about the social work, welcome to drop me an email and we can explore further and I can get the different stakeholders to help me to answer as well. And secondly is we will have our monthly webinar on the Friday, the first week of the Friday, 11 to 12:15. So this is where we can build our economy, our community together that to support one another. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Teoh. Thank you very much, Dr. Teoh, for being with us. And thank you for spending time together. I'm the moderator today, Zoa, and I will see you in next webinar. Thank you. And you can unmute yourself and use your own language to say bye-bye.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Zoe.
Everyone is welcome to unmute. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone
Thank
for
you.
joining. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kamsia.
Bye.
Kamsia,
Bye.
Kamsia. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.